coaster ride. It has been. The ups and the downs and the highs and the lows. It's been a roller coaster ride, has it not? But I have to say, for myself, it has been getting better for me anyway. I know a lot of us are still going through a lot of shifts and changes, and really what we're going through, I believe, is a timeline shift. We're going through a timeline shift. Old paradigms are being broken down. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that even mean? Well, my loves, what that means is that old version of ourselves, that version that we have been all this time up to this point, is now being challenged to shift and move into the new version that we are trying to create of who we truly are. How do we know that? We know that we're creating that new version because everything is changing. Or we feel this intense urge to change something in our lives. We may not know what it is in its entirety yet, but little bits and pieces are showing itself to us by patterns and behaviors that will show up. And then when they show up, we see them and they don't feel good anymore. By the people around us that maybe at one time felt good to us, but don't feel good to us anymore. By jobs and careers that we're in that one time felt good to us, but don't feel good to us anymore. This is the shift that we're going through. All of that stuff from our past, from our old version, is now coming to this time where we're ready to step into this new version. So what do we do with all of this? What is the purpose of all of this? What is the purpose of all of this that we're going through? There's always a bigger purpose for everything that we go through, whether good or bad. The main purpose is to continue to evolve, continue to evolve as a soul, as a divine soul, to get back to a place of unconditional love, purity, truth, authenticity. All of the old ways of being and doing, that old version of us doesn't feel good anymore. So we're trying to figure out what to do next while fearing it, because change is not always easy, is it now? But it's so necessary in order for us to continue to evolve. So the word that came up today is trust. Trust. Trusting the process. Being proud of how far you have come. Gaining strength through it all. And everything that we have gone through has given us strength and courage, even though we may not see it right now. It's always been part of us growing, right? That old stuff doesn't feel good anymore. We're healing. Or at least we're trying to heal. We're trying to move out of an old paradigm and into a new one. The timeline that we are going to be creating at a whole different level of awareness. And we know that by what we have learned throughout our experiences, right? It's changing. And it's changing quickly. Or at least it's trying to change quickly. We have to get to this place of self-love, of embracing every lesson that we learned, embracing all of the experiences that we've gone through, whether good or bad, because each one of those experiences has brought us closer to this new paradigm that we're trying to create now, full of abundance. Focus is going to be so different, because the focus is going to be on what it is that we truly want, what it is that we truly want to add to our life that is going to make it more fulfilling for us. We're being forced to look at circumstances, situations, relationships, behaviors, and patterns that no longer serve us. And we'll know that by the way it feels. We're trying to bring balance to the masculine and the feminine parts of who we are. Because once we can get to that place, we are going to be more in alignment with ourselves, right? The energy has been intense. It's been so intense. It's been shifting. It's been going up. It's been going down. Solar flares. Everything is shifting. It's moving. And in some instances, it feels like it's so accelerated that we can't even catch our breath. And in other instances, it feels like it's just not stop. It's just never, it's not moving, right? So during this shift and this timeline shift that we're going through, it's going to feel like that. We're going to feel like we're going up. We're going to feel like we're going down. We're going to feel amazing, and then we're going to feel depressed. The energy is going to feel like it's moving so quickly that we forget days and times, like I experienced. Days and times. I'm losing track of days and times because the energy is trying to move through me so quickly. What do I mean by the energy moving through me? What I mean is all of the stuff that I've known, being who I've been, that old version of me and everything that I did and the way I did it, and all of those experiences that at some point may have held me back. Now, and because of all the work that I've done, and so many of us have done, we're at a place now where we're ready to let that energy flow through us. So it has to come in quickly to move out of us quickly so that we can balance and start fresh and new. Does that make sense? I know it sounds confusing and it sucks, but we're going up and down for many reasons, and the most important is throat chakras, express, time. Time is shifting. Look at this. The universe is helping you look for synchronicities, synchronistic events around you. The synchronistic events around us is the shift, is the changes, is all of the things that no longer are in alignment with us. It's the signs that we receive. It's the intuitive nudges that we get. It's the messages that come through from a stranger or comes through, a message online, social media. It's coming through in whatever way we consciously can make sense of it or see it, because sometimes people just need that tangible evidence that things are really changing. We may get an influx of the same messages being repeated over and over and over, right? Numbers, signs, it's all there showing us that we are going through major change right now. And we have to get to a place of embracing it and not resisting it, because the more we resist, the more difficult it becomes. In the process, it takes longer to do what it needs to do. But again, there's no competition here. You are moving and evolving at a pace that you are able to. You can't compare yourself to the next person because everyone's journey is different, and everyone is going to evolve at whatever point they're meant to evolve. Every experience that each person has is not going to be the same experience that you have. But there is going to be some aspect of that experience that you can relate to help you understand what you need work on or what you need to share with others. We're in a period of, for the Christians out there, with Easter, right? It represents a rebirth of Christ, right? Of Jesus. I feel like we are going through this shift. We're going through a time of sacrifice and learning so much about ourselves, a renewal of our faith, a resurrection of life. We're being given the opportunity to go through these changes so we can recreate who we really are and stand in our truth and our authenticity, because that is what's going to make all of the difference as we move forward. A lot of us are being challenged and maybe having a hard time moving into the next timeline, because a lot of us fear change, and a lot of us may not be ready to make the changes that the universe is showing us by the signs that it's presenting for us. Again, there's no expiration date and there's no competition. We have to get to a place of fully understanding why we go through the things that we go through, where they came from, to understand who we truly are becoming. And we are becoming our authentic selves by those experiences. During that time of transition, especially in this time where energy is shifting so quickly, accelerating at an accelerated pace, we have to at some point get to the place of grieving, right? So all the emotions coming up, things from our past coming up, things from our childhood coming up, bringing up all of these emotions connected to those memories, those times that are being shown to us, right? It's to grieve that person, that who we were, It's to grieve that time. So we have to end that time in order to have the rebirth. So in representation of Easter, right? The resurrection and rebirth of Jesus, the sacrifices and the death of our lives as we have known them. In Jesus's case, it was death for the sins of others, right? So in a sense, if you look at that, he died and he was crucified because of the sins of others, right? So not to say that that is what we're going through, but in a sense, if you wanted to look at it at another level of understanding how we've gone through life, keeping ourselves stuck and behind because of things that were programmed, things that people that made us believe certain things, and the lives that we lived according to what we were told we were supposed to be and how to live. And all of the trauma that was created through lifetimes ancestors, generations. We have to come to a point now where we have to end it, end that pattern, end that cycle, end that period, so that we can move forward, more evolved. It's a time of rebirth. It really is a time of rebirth. This is an opportunity for us to take every lesson, every experience, and every lesson that we have ever learned and recreate the life that we truly are meant to have by those lessons and those experiences. We don't have to continue repeating cycles and repeating patterns of behaviors that we have been so accustomed to through our programming and experiences, and our parents and their parents and generations before have done. We're being given an opportunity now to start the change within ourselves, because that's where the change starts. Change starts within ourselves. And then it becomes a ripple effect. Those changes become teachings, awareness, now to share with other people so that they can learn the lessons, heal, and move forward. So in essence, it's like a ripple effect. The more we change, the more change is created. We're spreading it out there. We're letting people see that it's possible if you get to a place of trusting. More importantly, trusting, believing, allowing everything to happen so that we can create what it is that we truly want to create. And I know I just went all over the place. Because again, when the stuff is coming through, when I'm channeling, it doesn't always a lot of throat chakra clearing necessary out there. Express, people. Express your truths. But like I was saying, sometimes when I'm channeling, it's just so much information coming in at one time, and sometimes it's hard to put it into words, so it jumps all over the place. So I apologize if I confused you in any way. But I just want you to understand that all of this is necessary, my loves. It's all necessary in the process. Don't be so difficult. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Allow the changes to take place at the pace that it needs to take place for you. You know, you can't compete with anybody else, because we're all going to get there when we're supposed to get there, right? At the time we're supposed to get there, we will get there. It's not a race. It may feel like a race because the time is so accelerated, but honestly, it's all going to happen at the time it's supposed to happen. So embrace the process. Be present. Be mindful. Don't fear the changes. Don't fear the information that's coming through for you. In order for us to move into this new cycle, this new timeline, this new creation, recreation of who we are, or should I say, stepping into the truth of who we are, or authenticity, all of that stuff was necessary for us to go through to even understand what is happening at this point. So we have to let it go and happen at the time and the pace that is meant to. So be gentle with yourself. Take time to recharge. With the energies being so accelerated, we need to take rest. We need to rest. We need to lay down and relax, or find things that are enjoyable. for us, that brings peace for us, that gives us joy, because that is all the stuff that's going to help us to open our heart chakras so that we can connect more to what these changes are representing for us. But it's a time of death and rebirth. It's a time of resurrection, a time for us to resurrect and become true and authentic, what we have been born to be. You're divine. You are divine souls, goddesses, and gods. Know how magical you are. Know how worthy you are. How loving. And enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. Have an amazing weekend.